Hey guys, Roberta here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am building on the Sapphire Shores lot here in Sulani, and I just love this lot so much. It's so beautiful. I really liked how it was over the water, like the whole lot is mostly water, so I decided this would be the perfect place to build some Bora Bora inspired overwater bungalows. There are 4 in total, and their connective walkway leads back to a little tiki bar slash what I'm pretending is like a makeshift check-in area for what I'm going to pretend is a resort, even though I did set this lot type as a bar just so that there would always be a bartender on duty, and so Sims would be autonomously spawned here, and it just adds more life to your game. I just really like doing it this way. You could obviously set this as a vacation rental and then just rent the whole place out, like if you're going to do like a really big group vacation or a vacation with extended family members, and then you could just rent the entire place out and put each of the little like households in its own separate bungalow. The only thing is, you could always change this up obviously, but I didn't designate any of the spaces for kids. It's more of like an adult resort. It was just for me, once I set this lot type as a bar, it didn't feel right to like incorporate too much kid stuff, because I'm personally planning to just bring like my adults here for like a little adult only getaway, and I honestly am planning to do like honeymoons here. I think that would be fun to do your honeymoon like sort of with other people that you could pretend might also be honeymooning. I don't know, you could do like a couples retreat thing. I don't know. The options are sort of endless. But yeah, so here I'm just working on the walkways. I wanted the railings in these walkways to be very light and airy. A lot of the railings that we get in regular build mode just felt so heavy, and I felt like it was sort of taking away from the atmosphere of this space. So I found these railings from the debug menu. They came in the world of San Myshuno, I believe, and they worked perfectly. It was obviously a railing, but then it didn't end up feeling like too much, like it didn't take away from the space. And then once I get all the greenery and the foliage in there, oh my gosh, I just love like the overall appearance of this entire area. It looks so beautiful. So here I'm going around and I'm adding outdoor spaces to each one of the bungalows, and I was trying to orient them in a way each one felt like it was its own private space. So I was trying to put them in spaces that would feel more private. And so the one in the middle there I have off to the side, and I thought that would be a little bit awkward because the view in that spot wouldn't be very great. So I move it to the side just like the others, and then in order to get that private feel, I do go through, I put some greenery and some trees in those areas, so it does end up feeling a little bit more private. And then I decided it would be fun, instead of having bathrooms in each of the separate bungalows, I did like a bathroom area. I don't know what you would call this. I guess I'm gonna call it like the like latrine area, almost like you're camping and you go to like, I don't know what I'm trying to call it, but yeah, so like all of the bungalows will then go and they'll share this like centrally located bathroom. I don't know, I just thought that would be more fun and more interesting. There is a half bath in the bar area, so if you are just coming here to go to the bar to like socialize and you're not staying here or pretending to stay here in the resort area, you can still use the restroom without having to walk all the way down this walkway. But yeah, so here I'm just getting the general shape of the back porch of this clubhouse area, and then I move on to some landscaping. You would think for a lot that is like 60 or 70% water that there wouldn't be that much landscaping to do, but of course I find a way to make it excessive. So to make more land to put some greenery on, I place rocks in the water in all the areas that I wanted to create pockets of privacy mostly, and then I cover them with shrubs and palm trees, and then I go back through and I just add some water plants, and I add lily pads and swans, which I know would never exist in an ocean environment like this, but it looked so majestic and beautiful that we're just gonna pretend like they belong here and we're gonna go with it. I edit out a bit of the landscaping, and I also edit out me placing down flooring and wallpaper. Sometimes I think that can be a little bit monotonous, but in this build, particularly with all the different bungalows, I was hopping around a lot, and I thought with like jumping back and forth, placing each thing, that it would be like, you know, it would induce maybe a little bit of motion sickness. So I did edit that part out. I use pretty much the same wallpaper and flooring throughout this entire lot for the most part. If it changes, it changes like ever so slightly from bungalow to bungalow, that you probably wouldn't notice and it wouldn't be that exciting to look at anyway. So yeah, now I'm just placing down some beach blankets, towels, some beach chairs, cups, really anything I could think of that would be a natural item in this space if it were being actively used, which is something I always consider when I'm building public lots. Like, I like my sim to show up and it looked like stuff had been going on before we arrived, if that makes sense. And even though I initially designed this resort to be more adults only and not have it filled with kid items, this actually ended up being like a pretty family friendly space. So finally, we're moving on to the interior of this build. I just frame out the front entryway area with a little bit of terrain paint. For some reason, walking from the sand right up into this area didn't seem finished or like polished off enough for me, so I did just a little bit of that like stone there, and it sort of looks like the sands, you know, blowing up on there, and I just really like how that looked. So when we get inside here, I have a little bench on one side, I put a plant in the corner on the other side, surprise, surprise. And then this is a little check-in desk. It's obviously not functional, but I do like to add things like this, especially if I'm trying to give it a resort feel. A front desk where you would check in if you were going to stay here seemed like a natural thing to add, and this ended up being the perfect space for it. So I just throw some plants, a little basket of suntan lotion, and then this item by the cash register that I'm not sure what it is, but I'll put it on counters by cash registers. Like, it looks like a business card holder to me. Like, those would be the resort's business cards. I'm not sure what else I would really even use that object for now that I'm thinking of it. Place a couple suitcases by the front desk so it looks like somebody was actively checking in, and then I head to the bar area. I used the tiki style bar that came with this pack, and I like how it made the space feel less upscale resort and more fun island hangout, which was overall what I was going for. I throw in this like shelf that goes behind this tiki bar, and it all started coming together, and I thought I would use this space to look like it was the bartender's prep space. So I cluttered up the counters just so your Sims wouldn't come back here and try to do anything on the counter. I'm not sure what they would do if the lot was set as a bar. I don't think they would like come in here and cook or anything, but you never know what the Sims would be up to. So as I was playtesting, I didn't notice anybody come back here in this space and like wash their hands or anything, so that's always a positive. I'm not promising that they won't do it, but I didn't notice it, so that's always good. Also, during playtesting, I didn't have my sim sleep over, which I should have now that I'm thinking about it, because here in the dining room area, I use a counter and I put a coffee pot on it and I make like a little breakfast bar. So I figured if your Sims did sleep over, they could walk down here in the morning and make themselves a cup of coffee or order breakfast from the bar. I can't remember all of the food options that they can provide you from a bar, but you can order some chips for breakfast. It's fine. You're on vacation, right? You can do whatever you want. Off the back porch area of this clubhouse space, I was going to make a little deck with a ladder so that the Sims could get in right there and then they could swim. But since I already had the little cove public beach area out front, I thought it would be a little overkill to have two separate swimming areas on the same lot, especially considering that if you stay here and you stay in one of the cabanas, you'd also have a ladder into the pool there. So I instead turned this into a little jet ski marina, which I thought turned out super cute. And then we head on into furnishing the bungalows. And I did make a point to furnish them all differently so that no matter what kind of sim you moved in here or had stay here, they could find a room that fit for them. Unless, of course, they have kids, because like I said, I didn't put any cribs or toddler beds in, but you could easily pop some in. And I know in the Growing Together pack, they had those portable, almost like a pack and play that you could bring and put in like this room, or I have another room that has a double bed. There are two. I had sort of like honeymooning couples in mind when I built them, and I have one that has two single beds in it, and then I have one that has one single bed in it. And I built it with the idea that the sim who was staying there had been staying there for a while. And then I had later came up with the idea that it would be super cool to maybe buy this lot. I don't know what you would have to set it as. I don't know if it could still be set as a bar and you could buy it, but I thought it would be fun to buy this lot and then live here, and then you could be like the live-in like resort keeper or bartender or something like that. Like you could be the one who takes care of the place and checks people in and tends the bar and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just a cool idea. But with fun builds like this and with a community that's as creative as the Sims 4 community is, I'm sure the options are endless. And yes, this is where I'm going to leave you to finish watching me furnish these spaces on your own. And if you would like to upload this lot into your game, my gallery ID is RobertaPancakes. And if you enjoy watching speed build videos, I will have new ones up every week or more, depending on how many I can manage. So feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will hopefully see you all on the next one. Bye, everybody.